Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls 2. Last time we had a look at Dragonlake Castle, and this time we're going to have a look at the Shrine of Amana, or for most people the Shrine of Pain or something like that. So, I've actually recorded this episode once, and I wasn't happy with the things that I've said, the things that I've managed this whole episode, and I'm redoing it now. Which means I need to use some bonfire aesthetics to respawn the boss and hopefully also reset the dialogue with the one NPC that is down there. If that doesn't work, so be it. I'm not much of a story guy anyways. But by the way, I've been sitting here for now, I don't know, a few minutes getting ready while hearing this quote-unquote rain sound. And it's really, holy shit, it's really just white noise, like sitting in front of an old TV, and then basically these white and black dots, crystal, whatever. I don't know what it's called. Not even rain sound. That's bad. But yeah, let's get down because it's getting wet here. So, Shrine of Amana. Pretty interesting area. Looks wise, my favorite area. Gameplay wise, definitely not my favorite. It is definitely a difficult area. Not necessarily difficult in the sense of, ooh, the gameplay, it's so hard, this area is so hard. Rather than, it's really not that good designed. Really not at all. Even the gameplay is heavily suffering here. But what's that all about? Let's see where we are first of all. We just went down a long ass elevator. Let's actually see. Does it make sense? Somewhat? Nope, it's magic. It's just a floating platform. But it actually has this, or some sort of hovering sound, so magic. Sadly no glow. Glow would have sold it for me. And of course we have one of these levers that totally look like a mechanism, even though it can't be a mechanism. But oh well. So we are now in this empty room. Once again, they really like empty rooms here. With surprisingly this fairly well lit room, might I add. It should be pitch black here, but who cares? And then we have this entrance, which is not really an entrance, more like a breakthrough, which is interesting. We do not have a door frame, we just have a breakthrough. So I wonder from which side, who broke through from which side? Was it like they built a shaft down here and then this direction, then I found the shrine, or which way around? Kind of weird, right? This is something you have to pay attention to when you're designing a level. Stuff like this should make sense. Why is it not like a normal doorway if this is a normal path? Because it kind of looks like a path made normal. And here you can see I've already collected this item. But yeah, here was the first mechanic. They introduced a very small mechanic here where we can destroy certain branches or roots, whatever this is. Branch, root, or branch. Can I destroy the? No, I can't. Okay. But now let's continue. A bit wet down here. I would imagine this area being even more wet. I mean, it's raining outside. But yeah. Let's see the first reveal of the area we are going through. Because the first reveal is always something special, right? You want to draw in the player. You want to make them excited for the next area. And it starts out very well, right? We are going through this corridor and we hear this singing in the background. And if you're not hearing it right now, I'm like the sound effect volume is pretty low. There's a reason for that. Why is she not singing? Okay. You hear it, right? Now, do you hear it? Yeah. So someone is singing. Wow. And now there's this bonfire, and holy shit, what is this? Granted, the lighting is a bit bad here. Could have been better. Like, the presentation here is a bit... feels a bit muddied out. Now it's better. But they're using different lighting in this small corridor here, in this small passage. And when you from standing here, it looks really bad. But once we get into the main area part, it becomes a bit better. Granted, not that much. And this area doesn't really look that good from here, to be honest. The color scheme is very muddy, and there's not much lighting going on here, except for a few areas where there are actually light sources here. But the I guess it's called ambient lighting is dated. Let's call it pretty dated. But yeah, someone is singing, probably from that hut. And we can have a look at the first part of the level here, which is a water level. Pretty unique. There wasn't a water level before that. Was there? And the closest this, like, if you want to draw comparisons, this is the closest to an ash lake area as you can get. We have a similar theme going on. We have a lot of water. We have a lot of tree roots here. And this time we are not on the same level as the many trees we have in Ash Lake, for example, but we are actually underneath all of the stuff. At least it looks like it. If we look up, we can see a lot of... first of all, we can see white fog, or clouds, probably fog, and a lot of roots. And the fog itself makes this area seem very magical, like an area between worlds. We are no longer, I mean, feels like we are no longer really in the physical world that we were in before. Like, we should be somewhere underneath Dragon Lake Castle, or at least somewhere close underneath Dragon Lake Castle. But as we've seen, and Dragon Lake Castle is currently, it's nighttime, it's raining, and lightning and stuff, like, and here it's all like white. We only see white light coming from the ceiling, which, well, it could be the cracks in the stone or in the mountains, or it could be basically the veil between worlds, which I like this idea more, rather than, oh, there are cracks in the mountain area. Oh, that's not fun. Let's not make another Earthen Peak, Iron Keep transition here, right? Let's make this area as magical as Ash Lake. Which it's actually not, sadly, because we have signs of, what's it called? Signs of civilization here. We have a hut here. Later on, we have lots of structures that are man-made. After this area, there's a whole other area, which is also seemingly man-made. We will talk about that area when we come to that, but let's actually start going through this area here, because I'm already talking for like 10 minutes or so. Almost 10 minutes. Which is not good. But right, the first thing that I should do here at this bonfire is burn a bonfire static to respawn, hopefully, the dialogue. Yeah, what is done cannot be undone, which basically means this part of this area, the area that corresponds to this bonfire, is now in New Game Plus. Which is fine. which is fine. Enemies take a bit longer to defeat. I'm actually not sure if New Game Plus enemies will spawn or if they only really spawn in New Game Plus, but to this side here, we're definitely currently in a tower structure, which is interesting. Why would you need a tower down here? Like, towers are usually either there for defense or for overview. I mean, overview you have right here. But defense, you don't really need to defend from anywhere, right? I mean, you have a whole castle you need to go through until you're ending up in this area, so it must be very secure. Of course, this tower also works as a big staircase, right? It's just connecting two areas, one upper area and one lower area with each other, so this is fine. Then we have this little side path here, which is whatever, it's a side path. What do you want, right? Let him fall down. It feels kind of awkward how fast they fall down these cliffs and stuff. Over here we have just a basilisk in a chest, like a little cave entrance here that doesn't go anywhere, with a bunch of boxes and stuff. Maybe that was their storage room. Kind of weird to have a storage room there. This one we can break off by hitting it or by shooting at it, I think, as well. Not really worth it. I think it's Strengthening Titanite, if I remember correctly. It might be wrong, though. I haven't picked that item up yet. It's been a long time. But let's actually get into this area. Here we are introduced by the new enemy type. We have an enemy that lurks underwater. We can aim at it, as you can see. And we have these things, these glowy things over them, which are, I think, supposed to be flame butterflies. These are the same ones that ignite our torch. And as you can see, their aggro range is pretty low right now. When we aggro them, the lights go away. So this is the first hint at their mechanic, like the mechanic of this enemy type. Now we can see a bunch of glowing lights, which indicate, and we can see even, that there are a bunch of enemies here. I'm not triggering them yet. I can see this dude has survived, actually. Without a torch, it's also pretty hard to see the edge of the water. Right here it is. And it goes straight down. Holy shit, that kind of scared me, this dude. Holy fuck. Come on, fall down this edge. See, show me how well you can swim. Woo! Kind of funny how water doesn't really exist in this game. Oh, it's just... Oh! You're like a stone dropping down. So... We get introduced by two very small mechanics. Branches that can be destroyed. Not really relevant for this area at all, because I think there's one other time where we can go through a branched up area, or maybe two, I don't know. And then the more meaningful mechanic, which is these glowing lights, these flame butterflies, or whatever they are. And then we have the singing. Let's approach this hut. Let's see who is singing there. And the singing stopped. We're getting attacked. How lovely. Oh, and there's another one. How lovely. Let's see what happens when I light a torch. Oh. Oh. More are coming. So the torch is dangerous. Let's put the torch away. Get a bit closer to these guys. They're not aggroing right now. Because I think they have three different aggro ranges. Let's light the torch, let's see what happens. Oh. So these enemies are drawn to light, clearly. And they have 3 different aggro ranges. The smallest, I think 3, might be 4, I haven't tested that one out yet. One, the smallest aggro range when the butterflies are flying around them. Then the next one would be the aggro range without the butterflies, but the player has no torch in their hand. And then the biggest aggro range where no butterflies and player has a torch in his hand, or in their hands. I don't know what happens, or if the aggro range changes when they have the butterflies and the player has a torch. I don't know if that changes anything, but maybe it does, maybe it don't. So let's see what all this singing is about.
You quelled that cursed singing.
Ah.
They may be of no use.
Unlucky. Unlucky. I thought by resetting that bonfire over there I could also reset her dialogue, but this is basically the dialogue that you get from beating the boss of this area. Well, that's unfortunate. So no dialogue here, but anyways, I'm not really a lore person here. I don't really know the lore of this area. It's been far too long. I probably have seen the Vati Vidya videos, all of them, about this game and also this area, if there is one, but it's been ages. I can't remember. And honestly, I don't care. I care about the level design and the world design, not necessarily about the spoken word and not the written word, more about the world, or the story that the world itself tells me. Right? Not the dialogue and not the stuff that all of these items are telling us. Ooh, a rare stone. Oh, nice. Don't care. Like, writing is another thing. I'm not here to criticize or analyze writing. I'm not good at writing myself. I want to be the visual guy, basically. And sometimes also auditory, but visuals are easier for me in that case. And quickly I need to drink something. Because I'm feeling my mouth is getting kind of dry. So, what else? There's a box behind your chest. Doesn't really matter. Let's keep on going. Because on my first run through this area, on my first attempt of recording this, I mean, I needed roughly the same amount of time. But oh well. So, now that we are further away, we start singing again and the butterflies reappeared. And this is, I guess, a new mechanic here, or a New Game Plus mechanic. Because that woman back there, that we see in the background here, just standing there menacingly and watching how these dudes are just wailing on this character. This is new. This wasn't here in New Game, the New Game version. Because what her deal is, she's a healer. And if she detects that these dudes are hurt, she's starting to heal them. But attacking, she's not. She's not attacking us. She's merely healing them. Which is strong enough, to be honest, because it's a fairly long range to get there. I'm not kidding her, though. Doesn't matter. Let's keep on going. I'm going to talk about the aesthetics of this place right here, not the origins or where we are in the world. I've talked about that already, but about the looks of this area later on. Because while this could have been a fairly good introduction to this area, it kind of looked very muddied out, and like the colors weren't feeling right to me. They weren't feeling right. I think they failed with the lighting a bit. When we stood on the tower up there, I think they could have done a better job with that. But let's keep going through here. We get introduced by a new enemy. If we know these enemies already. And then there are these things. Want to do your cloud attack, or do you have none? Yeah. This also exists. If you don't know what that is, it's acid. It's destroying your armor. If you're standing in that cloud too long, it's destroying your armor and rings. Not a fun mechanic to play with. Durability in general in these games is kinda pointless. I think I'm going to make a separate video about durability in Souls-likes, but I feel like TLDR basically, my opinion on durability is, it's fucking useless. Like, it's not a fun mechanic, it does nothing. And I'm glad they got rid of it in Elden Ring, so... I mean, it does something, it limits your fun having with that game, but this right here is a much better introduction to that area. Because here we have these flowers, they emit a nice blue lighting, looks very interesting. Everything with a light source in this game is a plus, I would say. Because you've seen this area from up the tower, right? Like without a light source, except for that, that's not a light source, that's just like, that's ambient lighting. I'm talking about torches and glowing flowers, stuff like that. Without these, like without the glow, that would look shit. The whole area would look like shit. But with the light, it looks amazing. And this is the better introduction to this area, because here, from this point onward, we have the full amount of enemies, the widest enemy range here, and also the pain starts from here. Like, this is the Shrine of Pain, no longer the Shrine of Amana. Well, it depends on what build you're playing, but with most builds this isn't fun. And even with the easiest build, which in my opinion is an archer build in this area, because you want to have that free aim bow on your side, or crossbow. You can free aim crossbows in this game, I don't know. Because of these, you can see it from here. There, one of these ladies, but this one is wielding a staff. And what happens when I'm getting closer is the following. She's shooting. Look, the bolts are also homing. Granted, I can dodge them by just walking like that, but more by running. But that's not the point. The way they've positioned these mages is very irritating. And the sound is also very irritating. Like the sound of these bolts, it's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant sound. So, do I wanna burn something? Let's burn everything here. I'm new game plussing this whole area, even though it's not doing anything to the NPCs, but there isn't even an NPC in here, which doesn't matter. But here we also start having other structures. We've seen the hut from her name is Milfanito, or the name of all of the ladies in this area is Milfanito. I don't know what that Milfa means. Or Mil, I mean, I know what a MILF is, but I don't think that's their intention here. But Nito. They have Nito in their name, which is, well, Dark Souls 1's, one of Dark Souls 1's bosses. And they definitely have some connection to them, I assume. But yeah, no lore guy here. get your lore fix from someone else. But yeah, problematic are these enemies, because once you approach these, another one will shoot you. You see where this is going, right? You're getting rid of one, you're getting shot by another one. You approach them. Oh, this time no other... Oh, yeah, nice. No other enemies on my ass, but this is how it works, basically. You're approaching one of these mages, you're getting hit by another one. You approach that mage, you're getting hit by another one. And they like to build these chains of mages covering each other's ass, which is very, very annoying. It wouldn't be as annoying if you had enough cover, but sometimes you don't have any cover, so you just have to roll through it, soak it up, or I don't know, get lucky that you're whatever. It's not really a fun and what? It's not really a fun experience. Let's keep it at that. Okay, you stop. No. I don't like the sound. I want to talk about this area. Okay, let's first get rid of all of these, because that sound is very aggravating. It's not pleasant. I don't like it. I want it to stop. And as you can see, I approached this one in melee. Now this one attacks me. I approach that one. Now another one shoots at me. This is what I mean, like, they're covering each other's asses. Very, very unpleasant. Finally, that sound just stopped for a moment here. Because soon enough there are more. There are always more. What the fuck? I guess that's a New Game Plus enemy. Huh. Holy shit, are they tanky? The fuck? Or can't they die as well? No, they can't die. Okay. I'm just dealing not that much damage. The fuck was that? Okay. I'm not online, I swear. I'm not cheating online here. But yeah, now I can do this for... now I can talk about this area a bit more, because... For fuck's sake. Let me stand another one, holy shit. Can you fuck off? I just want to stand on my broken... No. Put me on that thing. I want to talk about this area from up there. Yeah, good. So, now that that is over... I mean, I could try something. Let's see if this is actually working or not. Let's pick that one. So, let's see if enemies will attack me now. Or not. But yeah, talking about this area a bit more and comparing it to Ash Lake, because it feels just like a natural comparison, because these areas are fairly similar, somewhat. Granted, there is no ash here, but there is a lake, and we have tree roots, so that is that. But there the comparison stops again, because there are actually people here. In Ash Lake, there were only animals and minor life forms, I would call them. Except for maybe the Everlasting Dragon, but this is the place where the Everlasting Dragons, which they call their home, I guess. So that is fine, but there were no humans down there. Except for Siegmeyer and his daughter, killing him there. And I guess a few human corpses bearing some items, because that's how it works in these games. But down here we have actually structures. We have like these Probably, again, very nonsensical structures that are just here to be there and serve actually no purpose. I mean, what is the purpose of a structure like this? There is no purpose. It's for the looks, right? In real life, you would also build something like this for the looks. Maybe it has a religious purpose to you, or maybe it just looks nice. But having something like this serves no purpose other than the purposes that I just named. But there is no, it's not giving you any real shelter from anything. It's not like you can't live in there. It's just, there's no roof, there's no kitchen, there's no bed chamber or something. It's just a building where you can, I don't know, do your prayers or something, worship, or sing, I guess, in this case, your whatever you're worshiping or singing to. Right? Might be a religious part. Can you even call the Milfanito religion? Is that part of the religion? I would say so, right? Or what would you call it? It has a religious purpose, I would say. Like afterlife and stuff like this is a part of religion, I would say. Or going inside of beliefs, if you don't want to call it religion. Has something to do with beliefs, so. But yeah, let's keep going through this area. I want to see if the thing that I just did worked. Or not. But let's keep going through this area, because so far, layout-wise, it's just one path. Right? It's a wide path, but there are borders. The borders are the deep water, where we can't go through. And here the path splits just a tiny bit, right? It doesn't split too much. Over there, here we have a small little bridge. Again, this actually serves a purpose. This connects to areas. What I'm wondering though is, was there always... was the water level always that high? Let's call it high. Was it always this high? So did they build this bridge on purpose underneath the water level? If yes, that's cool. If no, that's also cool. Right, I have no problems with that. What I have a problem with is that there are no... like, no safety features again. It's very dangerous. Apparently no one here can swim. And apparently in water you're just falling down as if someone had, like, put, like, a bunch of weights on you and you're, like, falling for some time already. As you could see, like, these mace, or not mace, the enemies, the melee enemies that I just pushed down the edge here just fell down, like, extremely fast, so the water is not catching them in any meaningful way, so water is very dangerous here, apparently. But yeah, we have a few side paths here and there, but nothing major. This one leads to a door that I can't open yet, I think, at least. I can't open this, leading to, I think, the soul of Vendrick. I'm not getting into that, but was it his soul or only his armor cell, crown, whatever? Something belonging to Vendrick. And then they're over... Let's first of all see if it's working. It's working, good. And then over here is another side path, which is fairly dangerous. I mean, this is kinda subjective, but I feel like this whole area is just designed to fuck people off. Like, it's not a fun area to go through, and this is also part of it. Like, look how it's been designed. If you go this way, you're falling down. You have to go to the right. There's an enemy here. There are two mages again. At least you have cover this time. Here again, you can't go to the right. This time you have to go to the left. So you have to wait until she is shooting, and you have to time it right, or maybe roll at the right time. And then you can get rid of them, and then one by one, and you can get your prize. There's a chest here, there's an item here, and stuff like that. And honestly, these mages aren't fun to fight. For the majority of people, I should say. There's always someone who likes it. Right? Like, but the layout of the enemies here, or the placement, I should say, not layout, the placement of these enemies. And look, floating plants. Isn't that nice? The placement of these enemies is really... It's poorly made. Like, the intervals in which they shoot is quite fast. They shoot quite fast, their projectiles. When you approach one of them, and see, I have no cover. This one will shoot me when I'm here. So I don't have enough time of getting rid of her and then dodging that. I mean, you can probably dodge these projectiles and stuff, but it's not really a fun mechanic. I mean, I would expect to have more structures, natural or man-made, doesn't matter, in between these majors, where you have to stand at maybe a specific location. Maybe put another one of these thingies here in between that one and this one, where she can shoot you if you're mispositioned, but can't shoot you when you're positioned at the correct angle. And give the player a little bit of cover. I don't know why this one exists. This one isn't doing anything here. She looks in the wrong direction. I guess she's here to shoot you while you're going this way or something. I don't know. But also these structures, like, it feels strange. We have a circle here, right? Or a half circle. This structure right here, this big structure right here. Like, it's built in this half circle here, and then it's just a black hole here. It's kind of strange, like, that there are not more structures. But maybe. I have an idea what this is supposed to mean, because let me cook right now. Because here, let me get rid of the torch, we have this amalgamation of roots being very close to the ground, but it maybe they've built the structure around the roots here. Oh, there's a butterfly, nice. Because they have something similar to that later on, and another knot of roots, so to speak, where they've built something around. Maybe this is what they want to do here. Yeah, let's keep looking. Here we have another hut. We can summon another summon here. Lohnhunter Schmidt, small symbol. Somewhat useful, most likely not. In the previous recording, or previous attempt for me to record this, that didn't really work out very well. He just fell into the pit, like fell into the water, the deep end. Over here we have another chest, so this part of the area is quite large. Quite the large part of the area. And in here is, I think, Fire Tempest or something, if it's called that. Yeah, Fire Tempest it's called. And if you don't know where to go directly, like my way of my landmark, so to speak, are these two routes that we see in the background. If I stand at this door or at this hut here and look in that direction, I always walk into the direction of these two routes, and then I see the chest. Over here we have some of these. It's just weird. Why are they here? It feels so random that these laughing jars are here, or cursing jars, whatever. And then the probably strangest piece of architecture here. This strange walkway. If we have a look at the ground, there's a staircase here. These are stairs leading up to this walkway. You can see this walkway had once walls. They're broken down, but there were walls here. Probably so you're not falling over or something. And here it stops. Like, what is this? It's just a small strip here. Weird. Then we have this thing, which lets me think, or which reminds me kind of the, what's it called? Of the Abyss. Right, the Four Kings, where you fight the Four Kings. And it kind of feels like it's man-made, so it lets me think that the water level was once a bit lower. Maybe this is all the rainwater that got collected here because they dug that hole into Drangleic Castle, right? The hole in Drangleic Castle where we just went down. Maybe this is all the rainwater here. But this feels, I don't know. You can actually see down there. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see this on YouTube, but right here, let me put away where the sword is. There now, where the sword is, the wall, basically the ground, the ground texture stops there, and from there on out it becomes like this black hole, kind of unsettling. Of course, you're not supposed to look that detailed down there. But it's kind of strange. We have a structure, we have a circle structure right here, over there's a circle structure, and we have these random ass things. I just can call them structures. I would like to see this area in its prime. Like what they imagined this area to look like before it was destroyed. Must have been some concept art or something. I would like to know the intention behind this area. And also the intention behind these mages. They look, it's kind of creepy. It kind of looks like these two bands are coming from her eyes almost. But also weird design, like they have branches kind of positioned on their head as antlers. Fixated them on their head with these bands. Kind of looks strange. Then a big contrast, these fairly heavily armored dudes. Actually, I don't know if they're armored, but because it looks like there might be no armor underneath this coat. But they're also apparently part of a sect. Because if we have a look at a helmet, for example, it says the Archdrake sect. So there's a sect down here as well, I guess. How many are there? Holy shit, 4 melee characters. 2 ranged characters. And 1 healer. What the fuck? Like, they really didn't design this area for the players to have fun, did they? It kind of looks like, if we have a look at this tree here, this might be the origins of a tree. Yeah. Interesting. Usually these are all roots, at least it looks like these are all roots. But here is actually something growing. Huh. That's kind of interesting, not gonna lie. Like, what? Why? These are all of these beetles here are acid infused, let's say. Let's call it acid. Right, I cannot use this because I need to change team type again. Let's do host again, so I can rest at this thing and burn the bonfire ascetics. Or bonfire ascetics. Ascetic? Whatever. And let me change team type again. What do I want to be this time? Dark Spirit. Let's keep going with Dark Spirit, so that these enemies aren't attacking me, and I hope I can get past this thing. Because over here we also have one large one. Why not, right? You definitely want to get rid of them with ranged stuff. Let's see. Can I get past this one? How do invaders do this? I should be like an invader. Shut. Okay. Let these enemies attack me, so that I can get past these. Actually, why not make it a bit more fun? Hello. Help me, please. I need your help. You can actually just summon her to get rid of these beetles. If you don't have any ranged stuff, her gear can't be broken, I think. Good job. So we are now in the final part of this area. Now we can actually hear this nice sound again. Oh. Oh. Her range is pretty generous, to be honest. That's nice. Is she coming back? Let's get rid of these dudes. Let's actually try and get rid of these dudes. Because I'm not sure if I managed to get rid of them. Okay, you can do the rest. I hope. There also these dudes, okay. The fuck was this lock on? But this area was the other area that I was hinting at or talking about, where they built a circle structure around a few roots that were fairly close at touching the water, I guess, or the ground, where you have these big knots of roots at the top. And maybe that's their deal, where they build these circle structures around the... basically underneath a tree, I guess? It's supposed to be underneath a tree. Because where would you find a lot of roots all bundled together? Underneath a tree, right? And then the further away you get from that tree... Oh, come on. Are you really getting killed by that thing? And of course we have an invader here. You can't... Oh yeah, push him down. Come on, one more. One more push. They can't die. I turned off fall damage. I guess we're stuck with the... Okay, where is it? Where is it? There. Okay. Off and on. So, I guess that's the deal, or that's the idea behind these things. But apparently, which is strange, and I feel like they forgot this part of Ash Lake, which every tree, maybe, I might be wrong there, but isn't every tree supposed to be one world? Aren't these trees, or roots of trees, aren't these a bit too close together? Maybe that's just completely wrong what I'm saying. That's probably wrong, but this is how I would build something like that, because, well, it's still something like in the ballpark of the world tree, right? The real life mythos, or like Yggdrasil or whatever it's called. It's supposed to be an inspiration, so to speak. They borrowed that idea in that sense. But yeah, kinda. Now we're not fully through the area. I'm doing some overtime here, I guess. Make this episode a bit longer. Because even though this area isn't really that big, apparently I can talk a lot about stuff and repeat myself a lot, which is fine, I guess. Usually there's another Milfanito sitting around here in this position, and she looks all like beat up, probably because of this boss here. But this boss, let's talk a bit about this boss, because it's probably the easiest boss in the entire game. Even easier than the congregation or whatever, this mini boss that we got in Zeldora. Because this one you don't even need to dodge. Approach. What the fuck is she doing? Okay, maybe I just took damage here. But approach. Go a bit away. Hit her. Wait until she opens up again, because you can't hit that outer shell there. No hit, no hit. She's smiling stupidly, and then look what happens if I hit her now. I'm bouncing off. Just stay close to her. And do that on repeat. And when she's standing up, just keep walking. Oh, that was even too far. Like, the design of this boss is pretty cool, to be honest. It's like a frog, or a... what is the other thing called? Let's call it a frog. Instead of the face of the frog, it has like these... I don't know, like the skin, like this foreskin on her face, basically, as a protective shell that she can remove. And it's showing her disgusting demon face, basically a skull face, almost. With 2 arms on it. So basically has like 4 legs and 2 arms, which is... it's a unique design. Sadly, this boss is a pushover. Like, you don't even need to dodge. You don't need to run, you don't need to dodge, you just walk. And that's coming from me. Usually I'm not that good at beating bosses and stuff, right? That's like... that's just a pushover. And now we're in the final part of the area. And I have to glitch through that door up there to reveal the last few pieces here. And this is basically the end. Not the end of this video, but the end of this area, right? I keep talking. Probably for another 20 minutes or so, so stay here. Because there's still more to explore. Over there's a chest, and this part is a bit evil because the last bonfire was in the last what's it called, in this last connecting cave part with all the acid beetles, I should call them. And we have to go through the circle of pain again, where there are a bunch of melee dudes, a healer, a bunch of ranged girls and stuff like that. Then the boss arena, and then you have that. If you're dying to that cyanide over there, you're having a bad time. There's one knight that is protecting technically the next bonfire. Or if you're dying to one of these 3 basilisks, you're having a bad time. Because over here is also a bonfire, but for this bonfire to unlock you need a fragrant branch of yore. Because right here, where I'm standing right now, is a petrified statue, which I already removed. Here we have another tower-like structure, or we have a tower here. Again, fairly empty. I'm not repeating myself, like everything in this game feels so empty. And we have this door. And this door, I guess, I think can only be opened by defeating Vendrick or something like this. I think I looked it up. I looked it up, I've already forgotten. So let's activate some... Where is it? Some stuff here. No clip. And let's go through. And then let's turn off no clip again. And here we are. Okay. We're greeted by these dudes. And let's see if they're still here. Yes, they are still here, good. Because we have pyromancers here for some reason. I know in a previous version of this game, like not the Scholar of the First Sin version, but the normal version, they had a Prowling Magus here. Just some slight changes. Now we have some random ass pyromancers here. I say random ass because they feel random. This area doesn't feel like a pyromancer friendly area. The only thing that connects this area to pyromancers so far was Fire Tempest, this one spell that we got. But this is interesting. This is very interesting lore-wise, because here we have this thing that honestly I haven't looked it up. I don't know what you can do here. You can pray at it. I don't know what it's doing. Nothing. But I have no idea what it's actually doing. What the purpose behind this thing is. I need to have a look at it after this episode, I guess. Here we have another Milfanito. She will...
The little ones were born from the great dead one.
In the great dead one, right.
And the great dead one taught us song. We have sung ever since. To comfort those bound by death and dark. This is what we were taught.
So the Milfanito are here to comfort the dudes with death and dark. Interesting, okay. So they have a soothing role, a comforting role. The one that she's talking about or whatever is probably Nito, the first of the dead, like basically the Reaper. Or not really the Reaper. He's not really the Reaper in Dark Souls. I guess he's the first undead. He's the strongest undead. He's the first undead. He's a skeleton dude with skeletons as a cape, which is very strange. And as a coat and as a body, whatever. And I guess Nito is their boss. Stuff like that. Kinda strange if I guess I have to watch some lore videos about this game again, even though I don't really want to. But this is interesting because of this structure right here. I want to talk about the structure because it has, first of all, it's been made from different material. As you can see, the stone looks completely different. Here we have this black stone with the white impurities, I guess, in between. And the other structures that we've seen so far are all built with this more grayish, bluish stone. This one is black. And this one also, I think, if I remember correctly, or maybe I'm misremembering, but it looks similar to the seals where the grandpa, like the grandpa in the wheelchair is, that we've met like 3 times already in Drangneck Castle, in the shaded woods, and in the Black Gulch, not the gutter, the Black Gulch. And I think it looks fairly similar. I might be wrong there, but the architecture looks. I need to have a look at the other things. They might be completely black, or maybe it's the same stone. I don't know anymore, but it's definitely standing out from the rest of the architecture here. Looks similar. Looks like a shrine type of thing. And if we have a look at the imagery, what has been burned here? Because here we have 2 figures without anything in their stomach, like their ribs are exposed, and they seem to scream. Are they screaming? It's kind of awkward. I mean, their mouths are open, seem to scream in agony, and they're bent over, like bent backwards, shoulder or back to back, with the fire in between them. They're touching on their necks, basically. But the interesting thing is both of them have 4 arms. And the only enemy, in this game that has 4 arms is the Dark Lurker. Which lets me make this connection. At least it's the only enemy with 4 arms that I'm remembering. If there's another one, whoops. But I don't remember that. The Dark Lurker has 4 arms. And this could be a Dark Lurker-esque figure. But I don't know the story behind the Dark Lurker. Could be whatever. I don't know what the story behind this area is, but it tells definitely a story. And it's probably the best designed area, the best designed part of this area, to be honest, because it's actually intriguing and interesting compared to the bombardment of magic spells that we had previously. But still don't know what it's... Can you stop singing, please? Can I just kill her now? Here we have another Pyromancer. Same dude as before, showcasing some of the Pyromancers in this game. Oh, come on, stop dodging. Let's see, let the fire. Is this a different... I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we had the same same look of these windows and structure, the same look of the structures as before. Let's go back to the other one. I might have the same ornaments on them. Shit, I need to look through that. No, they have. Okay, it's the same thing. Yeah, no, never mind. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Was just wondering if this tower looked any different than the others, but it doesn't. I mean, it looks different in the case of that it's actually not as destroyed as the other ones, which is, I guess, positive. We can actually see how it would look like. But this part again is a bit questionable for me. Like, what is the purpose here? What is the purpose of this part of the area? Because there's clearly in front of us here. No, it's not clearly. Or is it? No, this is man-made ground. And just breaks off here, but where did it lead? Like, where... Why are you building this part here? Where does this pathway... Where is this leading? Is it leading to the circle over there? Is it there to connect... Or was it there to connect these two areas with each other? Or did this stop randomly? Again. As we've seen before. There's also a chest with a katana here. Man-eater or manslayer, whatever. What is it called? Man something. Manslayer, right. And this is the end of the area. So let's give this area a little recap, a little summary. From top to bottom, so to speak, like from level design and world design. Level design meaning enemy placement, possible items, and the layout of the actual level. And then world design, the... what's it called? Believability, is that a word? I just make it a word, I guess, if it's not one. The believability of the world, so to speak. Kind of feels like a wrong word. But if it makes sense, what we see, why it's here, and the overall storytelling of the visuals. And also colors, ambience, and stuff like that. Let's start with level design. The layout of the level is fine, I guess. It's fairly linear, here and there, a few paths branching off. Get it? Branching off, because we're underneath a bunch of trees or something like that. But it's a linear ladder from point A to point B. Again, a few branching paths. So far, so good. It's a solid layout, but nothing special. We have a small mechanic with the water where it's kind of hard to see the edges. Where you either need to be very careful not to fall down or carry a torch with you. Which leads into the other thing, enemy placements and mechanics that we have in this area. I forgot about that. The mechanic with the torch being a risk factor, you can see more, but you're getting more attention. You're getting the attention of the enemies in this area a bit earlier than you might like to. It's a cool trade-off. I like that thing. It makes sense, right? If you're carrying a torch, you should be able... You should be easier to see, right, for the enemies. But enemy placements, it's also where it falls off. Because the melee enemies are, to an extent, fine. Maybe a few too many of these knight type or archdrake sect dudes. With their warhammer or whatever it's supposed to be. That's a bit ridiculous how many there are of these at one spot. I mean, if you would spread them out, that wouldn't be a problem, but fighting 2 or 3 at a time is a bit... It's not fun. It's not really a fun experience. And what's also not a fun experience is... the mages. The mages aren't a fun experience. You have no cover, and they're covering each other's asses. So once you reach mage number 1, mage number 2 is already shooting you. Once you reach mage number 2, mage number 3 is shooting you, and so on and so forth. And that's kinda, well, it's not fun. It's not a fun experience, especially not if you're a melee character. If you have a bow, you can somewhat avoid this mechanic of mage B's covering mage A's ass, but you still have to engage with them in combat, and constantly having to dodge projectiles is also not very a meaningful achievement in this game, right? Like, oh, I've dodged a few projectiles, cool. It's just annoying. It's easy to do, but it's not fun to do. It's not a fun experience, as I said. They could have combat that mechanic a bit by putting more cover for the player to hide behind, or simply reducing the density of the enemies, which was also a problem of another game that I've played with a bunch of lags in the recording, sadly. But yeah, Lords of the Fallen had a similar problem with enemy density, with too many enemies at once, and here this area suffers from that same thing. Too many enemies at once as well. And then the items, let's quickly talk about the items you can find here. There's some meaningful items down here. You have a spell here, you have a piece of armor here, you have a weapon here. Nothing too special. But I guess I kind of like that they, for example, with the spell, with the firestorm or fire tempest, I think it's called, that they've put it in a chest that is like on the edge of the map, on the edge of the on the edge of the still walkable way. It's kind of nice that you have to wander so far out, because I don't know, but probably many people didn't go there because they just thought like, oh, okay, just there's nothing, I can't see anything there, let's not go there. But if you explore to that area, let's see how far you can go out there, and oh, there's a chest. That's a nice touch. Now let's go over to the world design, which is, the concept again is pretty nice. I really like having water together with structures, and like it's a pretty cool idea, like walking on water-esque. It's a fun concept. Also, they've done this already. It's very similar to very similar to Ash Lake, but with their own twist. And where again it falls off with me, for me again, are the structures, like in basically every single area. Like nonsensical structures where they just build it, they just put them there so that they're there, but the actual purpose is, like, you don't see what the purpose is. The structure, on the other hand, here we are standing in right now, it's fine, I guess. It's something where you can pray, I guess. Yeah, where you can pray. I can pray on this bowl of fire here. So something like this is fine, but all the other ruinous or ruined structures down there or out there, they feel very empty. They feel very incomplete. Yes, duh, they're incomplete because, well, you see, they're ruins. Parts of it got destroyed, or the majority of it, yeah, sure, but like building a stone circle with a few pillars in them, yeah. And then these other thingies that I don't even know what they're called, like these wall parts with the big windows. I call them windows or walkways inside, I don't know. What's the purpose behind them? The huts of the Milfanitos are no furniture again, not a fireplace, not a bed, nothing really. Well, they don't need that. They're magical beings, yes, so be it. But Put a bit of furniture in there. Why not? Where are the Archdrake dudes living? Are they just standing here? I guess, well, sure, they're hollows, but they were here for a reason. Maybe they were invading this place, I don't know. But it feels, again, not lived in, not an area you would actually do something in. Maybe an area you would come to every time to pray or do your duties, whatever these are. But that's it. This is where the world design kind of falls apart. It again falls victim to the level design in so many games. Like, usually level and world design, they should work together to create an interesting experience. But in many games it's like they're putting too much focus on the level design so that the world design suffers underneath the level design, like in this game, where there's too much focus on the level design and kind of in the wrong places. They kind of try to make this game just hard instead of fun. And then there are other games where like the world looks amazing and stuff, but the levels feel lackluster. And it shouldn't be that hard to get it somewhat right. Like, maybe if you don't have time or you're being overworked and stuff, like, but if you're just sitting down and thinking about it, it should come to you naturally, I feel like. I don't think it's that hard. I mean, it's hard to make something very, very interesting and intriguing, but it's not that hard to make something somewhat believable and somewhat fun. Like, making something a gray experience. Gray is in the middle, so like great experience or good experience is on the, so of course the experience you want to create. Then you have the gray experience, which is the bare minimum, and then you have the bad experience, which is obviously you don't want to offer someone a bad experience, right? You want to make them a good experience, but it shouldn't be that hard to create a gray experience, and this is definitely not a gray. So this is like, just because of the enemy placements, this becomes a miserable experience for many players. Maybe some players like me, for example, they suck it up, like I still have fun playing through this level. But I'm definitely not saying it's the greatest level they have ever designed. Like, it's... but oh well, let's not talk about the negatives so much. The thing that they did right in the world building is the lighting again. Like, in places where they have light sources, that looks again amazing. Like all the blue flowers. They should have put that area at the beginning. All these flowers, like, why the hell are you hiding them behind the first was there a fog wall? I don't know, probably. Why would you hide them behind there? Like, the first expression is very important, and the first expression was, well, it still was a wow effect the first time I got there. It wasn't the wow effect that I got when I first went through the first fog gate, where I expected some kind of mini boss or something, but then it was this wonderful looking area with the not so wonderful gameplay. But whatever. So there's definitely a lot to learn from this area for everyone, I guess. Everyone who wants to create such things, the good things, and also what to do and what not to do. I think the best thing they're doing in this game is the lighting, and I'll probably repeat this now every single time. But yeah, this episode is running way too long right now. Probably the longest episode I've done so far, but I'm far more happy. I'm far happier with this take than with the last take. I still need to learn to to keep my thoughts a bit short, to express them in a bit more of a compressed form or something. But yeah, I hope you like this episode. I definitely enjoyed it, and I see you in the next one when we have a look at the crypt thingy. See ya. Goodbye.